The band Teaze have had their own fair share of bad luck. We talked to them about the old days. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Canada. I remember in the 80s when I was getting into radio, I was syndicating a radio show across the country, across Canada, called the Cross Canada Report. And I started hearing a term from musicians when I was interviewing them, because I was interviewing everyone I could. The term was, you can go gold and ride the bus in this country, in Canada. Signifying, of course, even if you have success, it doesn't mean you have a lot of money. A lot of Canadian bands have had a lot of bad luck. I asked Teaze about theirs.
Yeah, I guess maybe more than our share, but it's tough, like you said, and you're one bad break away from everything collapsing. You're literally, right? And so we had a few bad breaks that we managed to weather, but ultimately, we couldn't get over the last hurdle, right? But that's the way it goes, and every band has a story. A lot of these Canadian bands, like we all kind of ended up in the same boat. No record deal and in a ton of debt, right? that seems to be the way it goes. But yeah, we came out, you come out in one piece, in your mind and everything like that. That's the main thing, right? There's nobody here that lost their shirts or anything like that. We're okay.
There's a lot of farewell tours happening right now. Instead of bands getting back together, a lot of bands are saying, we're going to leave now, and here's our last tour. But have you noticed the fervor, the fever for older bands from the 60s, 70s, and 80s? We're all getting nostalgic, which explains a lot of the excitement around the Teaze reunion.
But you're exactly right. And that's what since we've announced that we're getting back together, we've been getting a lot of response. And the closer it's getting to actually doing something, now people are saying, well, this time they're going to actually do it. And so the response is like just sort of snowballing a bit. And you're finding a lot more interest than we first anticipated. And it's nice. Some of it's from Russia, which is not going to do us any good at all. but we'll take it. We'll take it wherever it comes from.
Just talking about niches and stuff and sidetracking for me, like when Teaze broke up, I joined a group, Nanette Workman, in Montreal, and it was with Jimmy Ayub from Mahogany Rush and Steve Siegel from April Wine and Busta Jones from Gang of Four. And so I was in that for a couple of years, but then I met my wife, and I came back to Windsor. And then up in Nashville for 15 years. She decided, someone reputable said, well, let's go to I'm going to take you to Muscle Shoals. And she came home one night and says, you want to play country music? And I said, oh my God, really? I'm going to play the country lick in my life. And I ended up there for 15 years trying to make it. And that was kind of like, Teaze was kind of the end of getting in that door, because New Wave was breaking, and that was another issue with the band, right? And people like Robert Wood at Chum Radio was saying Foreigner's the last band that really got in the door. And that's maybe what happened a little bit with Body Shots. They started experimenting with our sound, trying to make us sound New Wave. And with the country thing, I was there 15 years, but we were ahead of our time. So we decided to play country music and dress like Motley Crue. And we were going to Nashville, and they were like flipping out. All they had was Crystal Gale. And I got sidetracked for 15 years doing that. And then to find out what country music has done now, it's all rock almost, right? Or country rock. So that's what happened to me, right? I just lost my way in rock, and I'm glad to be back, that's for sure.
The band Teaze, along with Honeymoon Suite and Matt Minglewood, are doing a concert August 25th in Liverpool, Nova Scotia, called A Night of Classic Rock. That's their next concert for Teaze. There'll be a link in the description of this video to their Facebook page if you want to get some tickets. It's also a good way to find out about more shows, and there will be more coming up with the band Teaze. We'll have another clip with the boys in the band coming up next week. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Canada.